Hi everyone, this is Luxtos, and today I'm bringing you a brand new video about the Demon Hunter WeakAuras update. We are now in Phase 2, this means a big overhaul and PvP talents are now added. Before we get into it, I recommend that you update your WeakAuras version, because those were created and updated using the version 2.9.0. So you need to be at that version or any more recent one higher up than this version, right? So as soon as that's done, you're going to be able to import all the brand new WeakAuras onto the game. So if you have my old version, what I recommend that you do is simply go onto your Demon Hunter, right? And simply click delete children and group on all 6 group. So this is going to ensure that you start from a fresh install and everything should be running smoothly. If you do not have my WeakAuras installed for Demon Hunter already, then you don't need to do this step. You can simply click the link in the description below and simply open the link, click copy import string, go into new, import, paste the string in and click done. So I repeat, if you have the old version, I recommend that you delete the 6 group, then you can import them again. If you do not have them, simply go ahead and do the import and you'll be ready to go. Okay, so that's it for the import step, right? So as you can see, it changed a lot, right? So we now have some new bars. We even have some PvP talents showing up out of combat, right? So that's pretty cool. The 2 green bar, you probably guessed it, are going to be the Fel Rush. So Demon Hunter, I think, like Fel Rush and Vengeful Retreat are very, very important to your core rotation. Even if you're not playing a momentum build, they're so useful to your movement and, you know, your abilities in general as a Demon Hunter. They allow you to cleave. They allow you to move through the battlefield really quickly and efficiently. So those need to be a bit more present, I think, in the interface. So that's why I decided to add those showing up that way. Instead of just having a little icon, it was getting a bit weird to track the number of Fel Rush. It was not instinctively easy to see, right? So I think I prefer this version. So as soon as you use it, it puts a bar on cooldown and it goes great. You can also see that the Vengeful Retreat bar goes on cooldown for a short second every time you press Fel Rush. That's by the game own design, but it's also going to help you know that you cannot use it for a short second, right? So there you go. So everything is getting tracked, and it's going to be a lot more easy for you to see what's going on with your Fel Rush and Vengeful Retreat. Okay, let's go into combat. This is the moral booster dummy, so the number are going to be gigantic, so don't worry about that. Okay, so let's go in combat. As you can see, I have Throwglaive showing up here, Immolation Aura, I-Beam, Blade Dance, and Chaos Strike. So, well, that's already a big difference from my old setup. So currently I'm using, let's say, a demonic build, okay? So this is a generic demonic build. You can switch some stuff around, but mostly people are playing Blind Fury with demonic, and you can choose anything from those row, right? So we're going to be showing up the important talent for this build. So if you're using Immolation Aura, you're going to see that it's going to blink, letting you know that it's currently active. And Chaos Strike is going to be lit up every time you're able to use it. Also, the Fury bar is going to lit up every time you have enough Fury to at least cast 1 Chaos Strike, which is your main Fury dump outside of cooldowns, right? So there you go. That's going to be very easy to see if you need to build resources or spend them. So you can use your dance, you can use your I-Beam, and then you notice you have to spend before using the right cooldown, and everything is pretty easy to follow up. The bar and the Chaos Strike also take into account your Azeroth trait. So if you have 40, the maximum stacks, you're going to see that Chaos Strike is gonna move its coloration accordingly, right? So that's pretty straightforward. If you decide to go with a more momentum build, right? So with Fel Blade, Demon Blade, Momentum, something like that, you're gonna see that you're gonna get Fel Blade showing up at the place of Immolation, and you're gonna get the Momentum buff right here. Since Throwglaive is now getting moved, it's gonna be up there in the top bar, in the specific bar, right? So Every time that you now use Fel Rush, you're going to see that momentum being lit up, and that's going to help you track it accordingly. You're also going to be able to track the Fel Blade for your rotation, so that's going to be pretty useful for you. Of course, if you are deciding for whatever reason to use Fel Blade and Immolation Aura, well, I thought about it, right? So if you're using both of those, let's say with the demonic build or something like that, well, it's simply going to take its place right there. So Fel Blade is going to show up in its place, and you're going to see Immolation Aura being down there. So things are simply going to move around if you decide to use any non-conventional build, right? So you're going to be covered in all cases. So, of course, as you can see, I'm using currently Reverse Magic, and it's showing up at the bottom. If you decide to use Eyes of Leo, right, and it's just going to show up there. So that's pretty cool. So if you decide to use it, it's going to also track the duration of it on your current target, obviously. So you're going to be able to track all of those. It's going to work for all PvP talents that are active. So Mana Rift and everything else is going to be tracked on those new WeakAuras. So that's pretty cool. I don't think there's much else to discuss in there. Dark Slash and Fel Barrage are going to be into the specific group now. So we're not going to have anything weird happen with passive talent showing up and everything like that. And I think people in general are going to enjoy this a bit more. If you want something changed, I simply invite you to leave a comment down below if there's something you think could use some modification, some adjustment, right? This is how I get most of my feedback. It's going to be in the YouTube comment. Okay, so we're done with Havoc. Let's go Vengeance, see what's new. There's actually a lot that changed. So, and I'm pretty happy about how it turned out. So first of all, as you can see, all out of combat, you have your 4 sigil, right? Including Sigil of Chains, which is going to be pretty straightforward. Just some colored bar. But you're going to be able to track also their cooldown with it. So the bar is going to dim down a little bit so that visually you know that it's not available. And you're going to have a cooldown tracker letting you know how long you have left until you can use it again. So that's going to be very helpful to see right on quick sight, right? If you use anything else than Sigil of Chain, it's simply going to gray out, letting you know it's not available. So as soon as you pick it, it's going to light up yellow, and it's going to let you know that it is up for use. Okay? Infernal Strike is going to be right there as 2 little white bar at the bottom. So you're going to be able to track both of your Infernal Strike pretty easily. And if we go into combat, you're going to see that a lot of things changed. So WeakAura now allows glowing to have different glowing type. So if you wish for it, you can even change most of the glowing on the WeakAuras. I'm even going to show you how right now. It's actually pretty easy. So for example, right now I'm making a Demon Spike glow with a bright glow, an action glow. This, in my design philosophy, is something that you need to press right now. So usually you don't want to let Demon Spike go to 2 stack, right? Because you want to try to have as much uptime on it. And if you let it sit at 2 stacks, it is damage reduction that you're not using during a fight. So this means that you should probably use it, unless you're not taking any damage, but that's something you can take into account. Like if you're the off tank and there's just nothing, you're just doing DPS, that you don't need to press it. But this require an immediate action, right? As soon as you press it, it's gonna go. It's gonna show you the remaining duration of your current Demon Spike, and then it's gonna go back to tracking the cooldown and the charges, right? So it's pretty straightforward. And as you can see, this one is using a light glow, which is not going to be an immediate action. It's just a suggestion. So it's not going to be as intense. It's not going to be as straight in your face, right? Because it's not just like a normal DPS rotation. It's you're managing resources in order to help you tank better. So this is just a suggestion. It's not like First Dance or I-Beam that under very specific circumstances, you want to use them on cooldown to do the most DPS possible. So for tank, it's going to be a little bit different, right? So I'm just giving you a suggestion on when to use your abilities like Fracture and Spirit Bomb. We're going to see that a little later. I just want to show you real quick. So for example, Demon Spike cooldown right now, if you can see in the condition right here, you don't have to do this. Of course, this is a little bit more advanced, but I always like to give some tips and tutorial on how to change stuff, because those are there for free and I want them to be good for you, right? I want them to fit your style. So if you think that the current glowing is maybe a little bit too harsh, too bright or something for you, what you can do is under the condition, every time you see a glow, you can add a property change. Simply go into glow type in here, right? Click it, and then you set the glow that you want. The one that you saw right there was auto cast shine. You also have the pixel glow, which is kind of cool. So you need to add it for every glow that you see to make sure that it works properly, right? So if you go there you go. You're gonna get some nice thin little bar. Personally, I don't think it is visually enough like intense for me, because I want to keep my eyes in the middle of my screen on what's going on in the fight. So I need something to catch my attention a little bit. But some people have expressed the need to have something a little less intense or try to change some of those. So I'm showing you how to do it yourself, so you can do it yourself for every single rotation button or whatever that you feel like changing, right? So default one is going to release like this. I'm going to show you how it works, and you can decide if you want to change it. Okay. So right now I'm just using a regular Spirit Bomb build. Well, nothing is really, I'm mainly talking about Fracture and Spirit Bomb, right? So if you're sitting right there, you don't have any resources, you don't have any fragment, you can press on Fracture, and of course, if I don't move and consume the souls, you're gonna see the souls stack up on Spirit Bomb. As soon as I hit 4, it's gonna light up on Spirit Bomb, letting you know you should probably press it, because pressing Fracture again is simply gonna overcap you, and that would not be a good use of your GCD, right? So what you can do is you can simply press Rapture twice, hit this, then dump some pain into your soul cleave if you're playing that playstyle where you're trying to consume most of your soul using Spirit Bomb and using soul cleave only to dump the excess pain, right? So then you can go into that weaving playstyle where it tells you pretty much what you should be doing in order to optimize your GCDs. So as soon as you get 4, it shines briefly, letting you know that you should probably press that, right? This playstyle is going to change if you're not using Fracture, because Fracture generates 2 fragments instead of 1 like the regular shear. So if we go on a more raiding single target, style of tanking with Feed the Demon, the icon is going to go back to shear. Shear doesn't have any good information that it can translate, except that I can tell you when you should probably press it and weave in your rotation, right? So you should probably press it until you have 5 if you want to go for the Spirit Bomb play style where you try to optimize your DPS. As soon as you have 5 or you're about to cap on resources, it's going to turn gray, letting you know you should really not press it, right? And then you can go back to pressing it and trying to generate. Right now, we are in a position where we don't have 5 fragment, but we're over capping on resources. So this is going to be up to you how you decide to spend. You should probably spend most of your fury, right? And then you can go back into farming those fragment. Gonna get to 5, use Spirit Bomb, and then we can burn the excess pain. Then we can go back into trying to get as many fragments as possible. Once we get 5, we get the little lighting up, and we're good to go. Soul Cleave is gonna let you know how much it's gonna heal for. So it's gonna be based on the amount of healing from the soul fragments. So those are based on how much damage you take recently. So the more damage you took, the more fragments are out. It's going to let you know how much of your current HP pool you're going to get healed for. So this is going to take into account anything that increase your HP, like Divine Hymn and cooldowns like that, right? Rallying Cry. So it's going to let you know how much of your current HP pool is going to get healed from it. So that's pretty neat. And that's going to be pretty useful. You're also going to see if you're able to use it or not with the default resources. Fiery Brand is just going to stay here. You're going to have Throglaive, even though it's a pretty short cooldown. And you're going to have Taunt, of course, which is now being tracked into the rotation. And you have your Immolate for Vengeance, just as you have it for Havoc. But now it is a default spell that you have. It is always there. It is not a talent option, so it's always going to stay there. So that's going to be pretty much it. If you decide, of course, to pick Fell Devastation, it's simply going to replace Spirit Bomb, right? So let's get that. So if you decide to pick it, it's simply going to replace the Spirit Bomb in the middle. And if you decide to pick Gluttony, which is right now not really recommended, but if you ever pick it, it's simply going to show you the number of soul fragments that you have. So there's always going to be something showing you the number of souls available, whether it is Spirit Bomb, whether it is with the default icon there, or on the Soul Cleave. You're always going to have the number of soul fragment available to you, and that's going to be pretty neat. With Last Resort, you have Last Resort showing up here, so when it is available, it's going to be showing up. If you recently procced it, it's going to be red, and it's going to be on cooldown, so you're going to be able to find that out pretty quickly. Soul Barrier, pretty neat, so as soon as you use it, you're going to know how much damage is it absorbing, and every time you consume new souls, it's going to add up to it, and you're going to know how much your shield is currently absorbing, with a rough rounding up, right, in the thousands. So that's going to be pretty straightforward. There's not much else. All PvP talents are all being tracked, so you're going to get your Illidan's Grasp, which is going to be kind of an interrupt CC, so it's going to be in the interrupt group. Demonic Trample is going to be in a utility, so it's not really a DPS cooldown or a defensive cooldown, so Demonic Trample is going to be there. Reverse Magic is in the utility. Every single one of the active PvP talents are going to be up to date for Havoc and Vengeance. So that's pretty much it. This is just an iteration that I did recently. I hope you like it. I hope you think that it's going to be a little better than what I had previously. I'm pretty proud of it, and I hope you guys like it. If there is anything you want to see changed, I recommend that you go on my Discord. There is a suggestion section. There is also a report a bug section. But the easiest way for me to see your feedback, you can message me on Twitter, you can message me on Twitch when I'm live, and you can also post a comment here, right here on YouTube. It actually helps me a lot. You know, when we're having a conversation, we're able to see what people think about any given WeakAuras and what needs to be changed. So if you want to see these video and these WeakAuras being made live, you can come watch me on Twitch. I greatly appreciate it. We're currently recording live. People are able to chat and have a good time, and it's always nice. So come give me a follow, come check me out on Twitch, and of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Leave me a comment, leave me a like. It's really appreciated. This is not necessary, but if you want to support this even further on, I also have a Patreon, which you can find the link in the description below. It is not required. I do these for fun. I give them free to the community, and I enjoy it. But if you want to support even more, there is also that. So until the next WeakAuras, this is going to be it for me today, guys. So good luck in BFA.